Okay, everybody. So here's some Google Slides on how to create good-looking professional Google Slides. Oh, pretty cool, huh? Okay, so here we go. So you just need to be consistent. You can follow through because I got a lot of details on these slides, but although I have a lot of detail on there, you'll notice that you only see about 6 or 7 max bullet points on here, and you want to make sure you do the same too. But whatever you do for like font size, font type, colors, type of bullet points, et cetera, you need to make sure that you stay consistent. It's what's called parallel form. So you'll notice here I'm using a blue background, and I like blue, so I picked that, I guess. You might have something else. Um, and you'll see some other things too here, but as it goes. Okay, here we go. Some more type. You need to be easy to read, so 36 point or larger. And again, no more than 7, and limit the amount of words in each bullet point. Try to keep it under 28. Now, again, these are just rules of thumb that you should try to do. The big thing here is to remember that your Google Slides or PowerPoint is not your presentation. It's there to augment your presentation. And that's a big word, augment. It's there to make your presentation better. It's a visual aid, but it's not your speech. Your speech is your speech. Your presentation is your presentation. The slides there are just something to help you. And what you don't want to do is have it be distraction. And that's the big thing. It's called the Zen approach to giving a presentation, as in less is better. Less on the Google Slides are better. Okay, moving on. So as you can tell here, when I said parallel form, you'll notice between these two slides, notice how it went to a different type of font. And when this thing's on the big screen, in all classrooms, there's a big screen. So if you're presenting in a classroom, or if you're in a boardroom, or something at work, there would be something broadcast on a projector of some type. It'll be very noticeable. It'll look cool on your laptop or your Chromebook, but it'll be very noticeable to your audience, and they're going to be wondering, why did you change the bullet points, the font type? And unless there's a real reason for it, that's a distraction, and you want to avoid that. Okay, so a little bit more here. If you're going to use numbers or for sequential or chronological orders, you would use numbers for those. Use bullet points for anything that doesn't have to come in an order, as in you don't need to do steps 1 first and then 2 and so on. The big other thing too is they make sure you capitalize the first word in each bullet. Although your bullet points aren't going to necessarily be full, complete sentences, you need to treat them kind of like that. So you need to capitalize and make sure you capitalize proper nouns and all that stuff. Okay, graphics, and then there's some things for graphics, and you might need to use that if you're doing some type of a PowerPoint or Google Slides for a science class or an economics class or something that you might need them for. And there's some rules of thumbs there for as far as that goes. You're not going to use a lot for your English class because we don't deal a lot with graphs or other things or percentages, but you might in other things. So those are some rules for that. Color. Now this is an important one. Um, when you have an image on your slide, you want to make sure that it's only one image. If you have more than one image, it really crowds the screen. And again, that's distracting. And then also, if you're going to have, you'll notice here I got a dark blue font. It's not light blue; it's dark. And then the color for my text is well, it's clear. It's white, and so they contrast. It stands out, and you want to try to avoid the black on red whatnot. So again, it's going to look really cool on your monitor, okay, because your monitor is close to you, but when it's broadcast, it's not going to look well. And this is kind of why. You probably can see it and go, "Oh, my Chromebook looks good." Yeah, but your Chromebook's there, and you're literally only a couple, a foot and a half away from your face, and you can see that, and it makes sense to you. But on the big screen there, it's not going to look very good. It'll blend together, unfortunately. Okay. Next thing is you want to make sure that you don't want to have a whole lot of information on your slides. And the reason for that is because people will read them. They're going to read your slides while they're listening to you. But really, you want them to only really listen to you. Okay. And also pictures as a background, because unfortunately, the text is going to blend in with the various picture, and they'll be harder to read. And let me give you an example of that. Here we go. Yeah, it's hard to read because it blends in with some of the lighter text and fonts. And right now, you're reading the whole thing there, and that's not the point of doing this. The point of doing this is giving your presentation. Again, this is a huge distraction. You might think you're being good here by your having this. Well, my information is there, and I need more details. Not necessarily, in the presentation. Now, keep in mind that times are a little bit different right now with the coronavirus. I'm going to be getting giving Google Slides to you with my face here in the little box here, and I'm probably going to put way more information than I normally would on a Google Slides, only because we're not you're not in the classroom, we're not in person. So there are exceptions to certain things, but really you want to still go with with talking about discussing it instead of letting the slides do the work for you. Okay, so again, remember the last couple PowerPoint, that's Microsoft's version of this, and obviously slides is Google's version, and of course they compete and whatnot. But just try to remember that the less is better as far as it goes here. Hopefully this helps. And also, yeah, lastly, I guess, yeah, don't if we when we ever do get back in the classroom, please don't stand at the board, turn your back to the audience, and just sit there and read each slide. No, that's what note cards are for. You might not know that, but note cards were originally invented so they could be fit in the palm of your hand, and you could use those without as notes, as you could keep you in pace with your speech. But they're meant so that your audience didn't see them because you could palm them and people wouldn't see them.